Welcome back to Afternoon Live. Are you sitting on the sidelines of today's hyper-competitive housing market waiting to buy? Then stay right there and listen to the advice of our next guest, who's the author of Buy Your First Home Today. John Mallett is with us today. John, thank you so much for joining us.
You got it. Great to be here, Kara. Thank you.
Well, we just described so many people, and some people who have been waiting for years, almost thinking it's got to happen. It's got to burst at some point, right?
No, actually not. I mean, the research that we've done is we don't have a bubble. When you talk about a bubble, it's basically saying that the foundation is false, and we're not really in the subprime crisis. The subprime crisis, you had irresponsible underwriting, and you had payments on mortgages that went up by 50 to 100% within 12 months. And now that we look at four things that you look at to determine whether or not there's a bubble. The one is interest rates. Right now, interest rates are at an all-time low. Historically, anytime that rates go down 1%, 500,000 more people qualify to buy a home. So it's a big number. People are wanting to buy because of that. Number two, I know you're not going to believe this, but you've got to have a pay stub now. You got to be able to qualify to buy the home. And so underwriting parameters are a little bit taken up, a little more stringent. And then you've got demand. Right now, there's much more demand than there is supply. The United States is down by about 4 million homes in supply. Right now, the national average is 1.7 months, and time on market for the supply to equal demand is about 6 months. And then, of course, you've got the most important, which is jobs. And right now, you've got more job openings than there are people to fill the jobs. Now, we think that there's going to be a moderation, and we think that prices will moderate, but right now, there doesn't appear to be a bubble.
I think a lot of people look back to, I think it was 2008, right? When kind of everything hit. And what is different now? I know you already described some of those things, but for people who are watching, how is today different than what maybe happened back then?
Well, I think right now, the big difference is rates are a lot lower. You do have to qualify to get financing. And I think right now what's happening, I think your question is a great one, because the essence of it is that there's a lack of supply on the market. When you have a listing and they come out and they say, okay, we're going to list this house for $500,000. Well, that's the listing price. That's not the market price. The market price is what a willing seller and a willing buyer are willing to get together and negotiate on price. And right now that's way above. That's 105 to 110% over in Portland right now.
It's really quite wild, and you hear people really frustrated because there's the multiple offers that they're falling into. There's people coming in and buying with cash. What advice do you have for people who feel a little stuck?
That's a great question. 33% of people who rent can buy but don't know it. My belief is go for it. Do not get intimidated by people making cash offers. My office right now, we have people making 3% down payments, 5% down payments, and the offers are being accepted. It's just how you go about getting the offer accepted. It's having a great real estate professional help you and a great lender working together as a team. You can do it. Now is the time to do it.
Do you need to look for where to do it as far as investing? Because I know there's probably certain areas that are higher than others, but do you feel like everything's going to be pretty mainstream from here on out? You're not going to see it fluctuate if you're out in the country or if you're out in the suburbs versus in the city?
Well, I think that the prices are starting to fluctuate more based on migration. Right now, our studies show that there's a lot of interstate, regional, what we call regional migration. We think that there's going to be more overstate boundary migrations because now people know that they don't have to go into the office to work. They can actually go to the Midwest. They can go a lot of different places. That's why we think that the supply of homes will increase. We think that prices will moderate. Prices cannot continue to increase the way they are because people's income cannot keep up with that. So at some point, you have to have some type of moderation in pricing.
And I think that's what we're looking at, right? People can't afford the homes or get the jobs that can pay for a $600,000 home. It's really quite extreme.
Yeah. And so they've got to be able to go to where the inventory is and where the price points are to where their income will match their ability to qualify. And it's out there. It can be done. I just, I grew up in the projects. I grew up on welfare as a teenager. And so to me, housing is transformational. When you can go from renting to buying, your life is changed. It's transformed.
Yeah, such great information, such great tips. Thank you so much.
You bet. Great to be with you today. Thanks, Carol.
Good stuff. And we'll have more information about John and his book on our website at KATU.com. Don't go away. We'll be right back.